NelsonJoypad.com bring you another original. It's fucking great.
Welcome to Mouse and Joypad. This week has obviously been E3. Huge weekend news. We've got tons of articles on the site. And what I'm doing today is a little breakdown and my own reactions to the EA press conference, which was of course on Monday afternoon or Monday morning in the States. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a huge EA fan. I don't really like sports games. I'm not really into racing games that much. So a lot of what I saw at EA's conference didn't really get me that excited. But there are some exceptions. The first one, and this really, it captivated me. It was a game called Unravel by Coldwood Studios in partnership with EA. And it's a physics-based sort of puzzle platformer game that to me looks fantastic. You're a little knitted cat type thing, and you have to navigate through levels, leaving a string behind you that you can use to, flip yourself up. You can climb up it. It looks quite unique as far as gameplay goes. And when the developers were talking about it, he explained that it all came from the idea came from a camping trip that he had. And it really sounds like it was a really beautiful idea, and the fact that it's so close to the developer's heart, I think is a good indication that it's going to get the correct level of attention. And that's what we really want. We want a game that has a bit of love and care in it. And I think it looks quite unique, I think it looks interesting, and I'll be honest, I really quite want to get my hands on it, but I'll probably have to wait a little while for that, I think. So Unraveled was the first game that I saw, and it showed a little bit of gameplay that I think it's got a fair amount of promise, I think, and that's really what we want. The next game that was mentioned was Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2, and that's a bit of a mouthful. And the thing that ran through my head during the whole presentation for Garden Warfare 2 had nothing to do with video games. The cartoon Archer, if you've ever seen it, keeps referencing the Kenny Loggins song used in Top Gun, featuring Danger Zone. And that's what they used behind this, and I didn't even follow the trailer, to be honest with you. We did learn a little bit about it. We know that the plants for the first time are going on the attack. There's some new classes, including a sort of little mini zombie thing that can call in a mech. I wasn't a fan of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. I thought it was a really unbalanced game as far as team-based shooters go. So this really didn't sink its hooks into me. But from a purely sort of objective standpoint, it looks okay, it looks pretty enough, I suppose, and the gameplay looks to be largely similar to Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. So if you like that, I imagine you'll like this. Although it's not for me. I broke a controller just in a fit of nerd rage in that game. So unbalanced. But hey, that's just me. We also had the obligatory NHL, Madden and NBA games that were announced, and they look pretty enough. I'm not a fan of them, so I wouldn't really be picking them up, but pretty. We also had Pele came to the stage, which seemed a bit of an overindulgence, I think. I mean, this was obviously for FIFA. Pele came to the stage and he had a little chat about how he coined the phrase "the beautiful game," and it's good for football fans, I suppose. It's good for football fans. Once again, I'm not into. Sorry, the EA conference for me is pretty much a wipeout bar about 3 games. We also saw a little bit of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which is the reboot from Mirror's Edge, and it's going to be an origin story for Faith, the runner, of sorts. It looked smooth running. It's being built on the Frostbite engine, so it's going to look nice. Now we're told that there's no loading screens or levels in Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So it's going to be a fairly open world, although how that's broken down, if bits are blocked off until you reach a certain point in the story, we don't know. But if you're into free running, parkour, and kicking guys in the face, you'll be able to get your hands on this in February 2016, I think it was. Of course, Mirror's Edge, we've known it's been around for a while, since I think it was last year's E3, I think it was mentioned that. So if you're into Mirror's Edge, if you like parkour, if you've had enough of things like Dying Light, it might be worth a go. But the stuff that really interested me, there was a teaser trailer right at the start of EA's conference where Johnny Cash, Ghost Riders in the Sky, was playing. And I was trying to figure out what it was. I thought it might have possibly been Prey 2, because that used a Johnny Cash song in its trailer and it had a similar kind of feel to it. I was way off. This was, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda. We didn't really see any proper gameplay, it looked like just snippets, but that's going to be out next year, in the holiday season next year. So far, might get pushed back, but you never know. I didn't have a clue what it was until the guy walked up to the camera and he had the N7 written on his chest. It'll be nice to see some gameplay, because I like to withhold any gamer wood that I might have until I actually see the game in action. And we didn't really get that here, but it's the first real tangible evidence that we've seen, other than a couple of screenshots and some pre-alpha footage. So that's nice. That's always nice. It's always good to get that. But the big thing for me, and I'm sure pretty much anyone else that's into shooters, is Star Wars Battlefront. And oh my god, does it look nice. It's built on the Frostbite 2 engine, I think it is. And we saw, it was essentially the Battle for Hoth. I mean, it's not the Battle of Hoth, but it totally is the Battle of Hoth. And the attention to detail that DICE have put into this is staggering. I mean, the audio is on point, and there's a point when a grenade explodes and you hear it sort of reverberating through the air, the whoa whoa whoa, before it explodes. It's fantastic. The sound of the TIE fighters and the speeders, and it all sounds fantastic. The sort of particle effects when the snow, there's an explosion in the snow and you see it actually fly up into the air, it all looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic. There's also the huge scale, and I think that what we've seen before hasn't really captured that. The little reveal trailer that we saw a couple of weeks ago didn't really capture that scale. But when you see troopers running alongside the AT-AT, oh, it's just so good. I genuinely can't wait to play that. And that stole the show for me. I mean, we've been waiting on this for a couple of years now. It's shaping up very, very nicely indeed. There's also a few snippets that we learned. We see Luke and Darth Vader running down to have a little fight, so we know that there's going to be hero characters in there. Whether that's done on a sort of time-based thing or whether it's point allocated, who knows. But they're going to be in there. There's also going to be missions for cooperative play that there was a separate video for, where we see two players basically fighting off waves of progressively harder enemies, so a horde mode. But hey, it's better than nothing. And we know that Battlefront is going to be out on November 17th. You can pre-order it now, and I believe that there's beta access. I might be wrong in that. For me, that was EA. I mean, I took away wildly different things than someone who maybe is into Need for Speed. Of course, Need for Speed was shown, or sports games would have taken away, but that's not really my bag. But it was good nevertheless. I think that even though usually the EA conference is one that I have on in the background, this year there was enough for me to, and that's what E3 is about, really. So yeah, well done EA. See you next year. What did you take away from the conference? Comment, tweet us, like, subscribe, get in touch. I'm Scott Davidson at Mouse and Joypad. Thanks for watching.